boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
And your mama something and your daddy too. I don't know.
Just to get back to the chorus, bad boys, bad boys.
That is, I love that song. I do. I hate that show. I hate everything about it, what it means.
Well, it's canceled, so take heart.
Which is good. But still, yeah. But no, it lives on the internet as body cam footage.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. That is actually what's taken its place. I think there's a whole show on body
But
cam.
that song bangs.
I watched the new Bad Boys the other day.
You know how I feel about action movies. Just the thought exhausts me.
It was fun.
All right.
It was fun. It was fine. Will Smith and Ralph Lawrence. Martin Lawrence are in their 50s. Will ain't got but another, 5-10 years of actioning in him.
That's true. He is very fit.
Yes.
He's had like a Harrison Ford length action.
Yeah. So I figure he's about 52, 53.
Yeah.
Give or take.
I always think he's older, but then again, like when he was a big kid, I was a little kid, and he seemed really old.
Yeah, and I always put it into context of like most of the people that I grew up with, from the New Edition guys to Will Smith, Fresh Prince, and even the guys from Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
They're only about 3 to 5 years older than their fan base.
Yeah, basically.
So, yeah, we were 12. They were 19.
Yeah. Just seems like a lifetime.
Which seems like a lifetime, but that still puts all of them in their early middle 50s.
Yeah, true.
So, it was cute. It was fine. It was a good way to end the series. And it was a reason to watch the new Venom trailer.
I know. Yeah, this is a summer of like semi-interesting schlock. Like that and Beetlejuice. It's like, I might see that in the theater. I might be curious enough.
Yeah.
I like Michael Keaton a lot.
Or Stone.
There you go. Yes, edible time.
Yeah, get some edibles and go to a theater. That'll give you a cocktail.
It's been a while since I could stomach Tim Burton. I miss it.
But he grew up in Burbank as an outcast. In Burbank.
I know. He's so special, don't you know?
No one understood him in the tiny bedroom community of Burbank.
Out in the sticks of Burbank.
Where you could have just jumped your narrow ass on the 180, the 181, or the 217 and got to Hollywood with all the other goth freaks. But no. Burton is going to sit in Burbank and take it.
Burbank isn't that conventional.
And in case you didn't know where you were, this is not Tim Burton is just too fucking weird for his own goddamn good hour.
Right.
I'm Samara.
And I'm Jeannie.
And this is Talk Deadly to Me. Oh, I've missed you.
God, yeah, we had the equipment apocalypse. I missed you too.
I missed all my little murder goblins.
You have no idea how many new soundboards we've gone through. And the shit that has conked out and given up on us.
But that's okay. We're back. And we're going to bring you a story. It's an oldie but goodie.
Yay.
I'm excited to bring it back. Maybe fix some errors in the first one.
Oh, okay.
What do you remember about Girly Chew Hossencofft?
Too much. Oh, Girly. She's one of those like the patron saint of, oh, you should have got him first.
Oh, Girly, you came and you gave without taking.
Truly.
She truly did. She truly did. But we will start the story where we always do at the beginning with Armand Chavez.
Yes.
He was born in 1965 in Houston, Texas. Poor thing. And by the
he deserves it. He deserved it.
And by the time he was a teenager, his family would move to Phoenix, Arizona, where they would become Phoenicians. And
which I love, but still.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate to go. I don't know. What's worse? That humidity or Phoenicians?
Or just the sandblast heat. I will say this, speaking as a Phoenician, one of my fondest memories of my teenage years was going to school with raw cookie dough and aluminum foil.
Yes.
and then making cookies on the dashboards of our cars.
Dang.
And you would start the day, you just put out your tin foil, put your cookies on, go to your first like 2 classes,
Mm-hmm.
and by the time you got to like 4th period break,
Yeah.
yeah, nice, hot, fresh, warm chocolate chip cookies.
Now I imagine every car in Phoenix smells like warm cookies.
Every teenager's car in Phoenix smells like warm cookies.
Only teenagers?
I didn't know any adults that did this shit. But our cars all smell delicious. Oh, you can fuck it up too. Don't let it sit past 3rd period. You will have burnt cookies in your whole car. Will smell like burnt cookies. Don't get it twisted. You couldn't leave them past 3rd period. Learned that mistake the hard way. But outside of being able to make cookies on the dashboard of his car, not a whole lot of breaks.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, Armand grew up into be a stable and loving home. He had a good relationship with his younger siblings.
Mm-hmm.
In an interview, his younger brother would say that Armand was loving and always looked out for him. And according to teachers and classmates, Armand was a smart kid and a talented football player.
Okay.
However, during his high school football career, Armand would suffer a head injury that would take him out of sports completely.
Mm-hmm.
And it was after this head injury that his family says Armand underwent a drastic personality change from kind and loving to mean and quick-tempered.
That is so weird and scary.
All it takes is one good shot to the
I
head.
know. Or an entire bar through your skull like Phineas Gage.
Or, yeah, you can look at...
There's so many consistent stories about that, though. Someone getting like a traumatic brain injury and just becoming a different person altogether.
Yeah, and if you were already an asshole, it makes you nicer.
Really?
Yeah. A guy I went to high school with had 2 really bad TBIs.
Mm-hmm.
He was a little shitheel.
Yeah.
And a mid to low rent racist when I grew up with him.
Mm.
He grew up, had his 2 TBIs. Nicest guy you could ever meet.
That is so weird.
I can't call it.
Yeah.
All I know, if the brain injury is bad enough, if you're an asshole, it'll make you nicer.
Yeah.
If you were an asshole, if you weren't an asshole, you were nice, it can make you mean.
Mm.
But it doesn't seem to have a whole lot of other.
Yeah. It is strange. But it's weird that your personality could change just because of an injury.
And it did. When Armand was 20, he married a high school classmate. She was a little bit older than him. Her name was Rosemary. And they married on September 23rd, 1986. Huzzah. And they moved to Gilroy, California, which is
That's
up north.
An improvement. I mean, I know it's in like shit kicker California, but
Yeah, it's like
I still say that's an improvement.
North Central.
Yeah.
Northern Central California. When they were married, Rosemary was working as an accountant for a publishing company, and Armand listed his occupation as lab tech for an immunology lab. Sure. In reality, Armand had a part-time job at a hospital as like a janitor.
Okay. That is polished. He did polish up that credential to be something.
He put some polish on that turd for sure. But he is also very much a college student. He attends the college at Notre Dame Extension School. Not big Notre Dame, baby Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And there he studied chemistry to lay the groundwork for his dreams of going to med school.
Oh, okay.
During the marriage, Rosemary noticed that Armand was having a hard time with his grades. He tended to be forgetful. And in hindsight, Rosemary would say, you know what? He just ain't that smart.
Yeah. Also, it doesn't sound like he has the temperament for it.
Bada bing, bada boom, not the smartest guy in the room.
But convinced he is.
So convinced.
Oh, God, I hate those people. They're the worst.
Still, the couple seemed to get along all right in the beginning of their marriage, and the union would ultimately produce one son, He was never mentioned again after this.
Good for you, kid. Good for you.
In December 1987, Armand would graduate with a degree in chemistry, but his dreams of going to med school didn't work out as planned.
You don't say.
No. Armand was rejected by every major medical school that he applied to. And in later interviews, Rosemary would say that all of the rejection letters made Armand woefully depressed.
Aw. Well, that's sad.
No, it's not. He still could have gone to med school.
Mm-hmm.
If he would have taped it down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
He only wants to go to Harvard.
Okay, thank God.
Yale.
No, thank God. Could you imagine him as a doctor for real?
He only wants to go to the big Notre Dame.
Good. This is one of those times where delusions of grandeur worked out for humanity.
Maybe.
He is not inflicted on the general public needing help.
But he is, though. Through his other bullshit. He inflicts himself on the public plenty.
That's true. But I think it's a good thing he's not a doctor, did not become a doctor.
In medical settings of his own devices, he inflicts himself plenty on the public. Plenty. Probably even worse than they would have let him doctor.
I don't know. He would have had, I think a greater flow of victims.
I don't know. Now, Armand could have still applied to med school, like I said.
Oh, sure.
He just needed to bring it down.
He's delusional.
Right. He only wanted to go to the big name brand
Exactly.
UCLA medical school.
I am Doogie Howser. Respect me.
Right. But he didn't apply to those schools because these smaller schools were beneath his genius.
Right.
Girl. During their marriage, Rosemary would catch her husband more than a few times drawing his own blood.
Oh, that's so gross.
For reasons we do not know.
Who cares? Ugh.
He's just gonna go get it.
That's so weird. Blech.
I guess he felt that since he couldn't find a prestigious medical school to go to, he's smart enough to conduct his own medicine.
Oh, God. That is delusional.
Take my blood.
It really is.
I imagine he's just sitting there and taking the blood and looking under some goddamn microscope going, yes, I see it all now. It all makes so much sense now.
I'm special.
But you're not, though. You're just watching.
I know.
You're just watching platelets and hemoglobin, my good guy.
To be so stuck inside your own head. Oh.
Near the end of their marriage, Armand told Rosemary that if he ever killed anyone, no one would ever find the body because he would be able to use chemicals to get rid of it.
Oh my God. Is that the night she decided to leave him?
Oh, not exactly. She stayed a total of 3 years.
Oh, that's quite a sentence.
And she left when she found out that he cheated. That's what did it.
Yeah, no, you would have seen a smoke trail behind me if some guy, even if I married him, was suddenly one day, if I killed someone, I'd get away with it, and then I would get rid of the body, the acids. I would be like...
Chemicals.
Yes.
I would use the chemicals.
You would smoke.
Yeah. That's a good reaction.
Yeah, because that's not... What's the punchline? You can't tell me you're joking.
You know what? I know some people that would just look at that and just be like, what the fuck? You're stupid. Get away.
I mean, if it was apropos of nothing. But I have a feeling, there's a groundwork laid if you come out one day and just say that.
So after their divorce, Armand was an absentee dad at best.
Again, congrats, kid.
And he very rarely paid child support.
Of course.
But in 1992, Armand called Rosemary and asked her to take out a large life insurance policy on herself and name him as the beneficiary.
That's another red flag.
Now, Rosemary and Armand hadn't been a couple for a minute, but she still remembers that time that Armand said that he could get away with murder.
Right?
By destroying a body with chemicals.
Yes.
And that's when Rosemary was like, yeah, Armand, you can fuck right the fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any of this with you.
That is so not normal to just tell someone to do that. Hey.
Yeah.
You would never see me again if I was like, you know what I think is a great idea? Listen, I've got this deal where you can get this life insurance policy, like $2 million, right?
All you gotta do is name
20.
me as the beneficiary.
Because, like, I can give you that discount. You know?
Yeah. I'll give you, just name me as the beneficiary. I'll give you a
better
cut.
move if I ever do that.
What do you want, like 80-20, 60-40? What do you want? I can make it work.
I'm just like, no, not even, like, no. If my mother did that to me, I'd be like, are you shitting me?
You're crazy.
You're planning to kill me.
Doing that? I'm not letting you kill me.
I don't have life insurance. You'll never know who's the beneficiary. Actually, none of you will ever know.
None of you get anything. I'm giving it all to the cats.
That's why Leona Helmsley did it. She's like, no one's going to profit from my death. No one.
All to the cats. I'm giving it all to the shoes. The shoes of the cats have to fight over this inheritance.
That's the final fuck you to the whole family, especially if you did anything to hasten this. You get nothing.
By 1988, Armand had made his way to the Bay Area, where he worked for a woman named Paula Young.
Oh, as like a handyman?
Oh, boy. No, Paula hires him to be her personal assistant.
Okay.
Paula's a wealthy hotel heiress who is prone to depression. Mm-hmm. And her family gave her a budget to hire a personal assistant, and she picks Armand.
Okay.
And for 2 years, Armand took care of everything that Paula needed. Her shopping, managed her household, cooked her meals, managed her depression, all of that. Probably dropped some dick off when she needed it.
Yeah.
You know.
He was not a bad-looking man.
To me, he's just a weird-looking little fuck, but enough women fall for his bullshit that there's got to be some there.
Yeah. He's got some weirdo charm that works in person.
Like, I just can't call it. And in May of 1988, Paula was rushed to the hospital with stomach cramps and vomiting that she said were 30 times worse than anything she had ever experienced before.
Oh my God.
I don't know how she quantified it, but in my head it's like, you know how it feels when you break your arm? Times that by 30.
Okay.
You know what it is to have cramps?
Yes.
Times that by 30.
Yeah.
Like, is what she's telling.
So it's like giving birth level.
Yeah. When she was interviewed by the police, Paula told the cops that the night before she came to the hospital, Armand had made her dinner as usual, and he was raving to her about how fantastic the squash was. Eat your squash. I made it myself. It's fantastic. Don't forget to eat your squash. Please eat your squash. Did I tell you it's squash? It's very special. And I've made it myself. So don't you forget to eat it. Eat it all up. Num 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 num.
That's just too much.
It was the best squash he'd ever made. Paula ate the squash. And later that night, she was hit with a bout of stomach cramps and vomiting that were so insane that she was like, fuck this, dude.
I know.
This ain't right.
And true crime brain goes straight to poisoning.
Poison.
That is arsenic, ma'am. That sounds like arsenic.
It is actually. So after ordering some tests.
Like, was her face flushed? No, that's cyanide.
No,
or ricin.
Arsenic gives you Aldrich means in time. You have to get poisoned with arsenic a whole lot.
Okay.
Before you get Aldrich means. But still, it'll make you still really sick.
Yes.
So they ordered some extra tests and they found out that Paula had been served food loaded with arsenic.
Shit, loaded.
Loaded.
Yikes.
And while Paula would eventually make a full recovery from her attempted poisoning, the arsenic had already caused pretty heavy damage to her organs.
Yeah.
She got like a massive dose.
Yeah. Dang.
Most of the time people are like a grain at a time.
Yeah.
Make you think that you just got food poisoning for a week before they go in for the kill.
Yes.
No, he
went all in.
Because
he's an idiot.
Now, because Paula had a history of mental illness, the cops wondered if maybe Paula had taken the poison herself,
Oh,
to which she was rightfully offended.
yeah, exactly.
She was like, fuck you in the ear, I'm depressed, I'm not crazy,
Yeah.
you fuck.
Yeah. Kiss my ass.
But she was able to impress on the cops that this was not a suicide attempt, and it was most likely poison by her assistant
Yeah.
the night before. When asked why she thought that Armand may want to kill her, Paula explained that Armand is a medical student, and he would probably just would have gotten a kick out of seeing the death process up close.
Ew. She kept this man employed? Like, that's, like, ultimately what she thinks?
For 2 years.
Or was it just, like, this incident that made the scales fall from her eyes? Or she was like, yeah, it makes sense he would do this.
No, she's just like, no, it makes sense.
Oh, my God.
A medical student would want to see death up close.
Damn, she's cynical.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, she says it, like, unironically, like,
Wow.
no, this is the reason why.
oh, my God.
She's not, like, shy, or she's not timid about it.
Paula,
She's
where's your, like, sense of survival?
apparently tied up in that arsenic.
She is depressed. So it's just so much effort to, like, fire someone and then hire someone new. That is depressed.
So she's adamant that she had been poisoned,
Yes.
but she hoped that it wasn't Armand.
Oh.
Because she just loves the guy. This is why I think he dropped
Weird.
off dick.
Yeah. Right? That's a lot of grace.
Way too much
That's
grace.
A lot of grace.
Way too much grace. If I'm getting somebody arrested if I come in contact with arsenic because of groundwater. I'm having somebody arrested.
Fuck yeah.
It's like, but you waited.
City council.
It's like, but you
Calm
waited
down.
through that creek, and no, I don't care. Arrest him.
Yes, exactly. And the whole board of directors that poisoned it too.
Get them all.
Send them to jail. Get him, Aaron Brockovich.
So the cops interviewed Armand and searched his home, but they were never able to find the arsenic. And since there was no real evidence one way or another, I mean, yes, they know she was poisoned, but
Yeah.
you're not finding anything
True.
in her or his immediate homes or whatever. No files, no charges were filed. None. Yeah,
That seems like a mistake.
just out there.
Yeah. It's just some minor domestic poisoning.
So this would be Armand's first attempt at murder. And soon after, he would leave Paula's employ.
Good for you, Paula.
Because even she is like, this isn't going to work for me.
Right. I have found the strength to fire you.
But she felt really bad about it.
Paula.
She did.
God.
She had to
It
like,
must have been good, Dick.
I
It
can't
must have
call
been
it.
like, dude, come on. Someone tries to kill you.
I mean, you're probably right, but I can't imagine this dude having good dick.
I know. But he's weird. Weird and imaginative. He's not smart. But
Okay,
he's
so
weird and imaginative.
paint a picture. Armand Chavez is a little guy, 5'6", 5'8", small side of average, right? Thin, bordering on scrawny, long sable hair, although I don't know how long it is at this
Sable.
point. Sable.
Yeah.
It's
Sable.
constantly described as sable. Very, like, white diamonds.
Yeah, but like I know he's not a looker, but like Sam Kinison pulled women.
He
You
was
know?
at least funny.
I know, but I'm saying this
And he
guy
had
must have
cocaine.
that too. But he obviously has that tent revival kind of charisma.
Something.
Because like
Big
those
eyes.
creatures, some of them are like the most homely, ugly, horrible people you've ever seen in your life, but they are going through that flock.
And he looks like a rain. He sounds like a rain view. He's like these.
Yeah, but for some reason he makes these women feel special.
I can't call it. Like, I just look at him and I just can't imagine any good sex coming out of that.
I know, but come on, we've dated frogs before.
True story. In July of 1990, A now 25-year-old Armand enrolled at the University at Berkeley, where he began studying chemistry.
Mhm.
This time, Armand seemed to have his shit together.
Okay.
He's charismatic,
Mhm.
smart, so smart that he came into class with an acceptance letter to attend the University at Salt Lake City Medical School the following year.
Hmm.
He just needed this like one chemistry class to put him over the top.
Okay.
Get this one credit and it's a done deal. While in class, he began to tell his professor and his classmates about how he had lost his wife and child in a horrible car accident.
Pity me. Pity me.
Not only had his family died in this horrible accident, but the accident happened when his wife was on her way to pick him up from school. This is all his fault.
Yeah.
She'd still be alive if she hadn't
I
had
am
to live
I am such a wounded hero.
Do you feel for me yet?
That is such a weird lie to tell.
Do you feel for me yet?
No.
Yeah.
Never.
However, even though he was telling people that he was in the deep throes of grief and depression after losing his family, he did not like a person who had lost his family, quite the opposite. Armand was generally upbeat, friendly, personable,
Yeah.
not like a grieving husband and father at all. So one day, out of curiosity, Armand's professor decided to look into the death
Nice.
of Armand's family.
Mm-hmm.
It was that bad of an accident. It's
Yeah.
got to be in the papers.
Yeah.
Right? So he went to the library, got the microfiche,
Oh, God loved microfiche.
because this was 1990 and that's how you did it.
Exactly.
Go to the microfiche
He dug.
and you put it on a machine and then get like weird negative looking newspapers.
Yes.
After being unable to find anything on the accident that had killed Armand's family, the professor was like, you know what? I think you're lying. Yeah. He was ready to let it go because he's like, this is a weird hill to die on,
It's a weird lie to tell.
but it's not my business.
Yeah. I can see that.
And he was going to let it go. But then one day the professor was taking inventory of the books in his lab to make sure there's like some boring state requirements on x-ray machines that need to be in the lab, even though that's not actively what you're teaching.
Yeah.
You just need to keep these safety books
Yeah.
around. So he was taking an inventory of his class to make sure that the ones that he had in there were the correct ones and up to date.
Yeah.
And so as the professor is thumbing through one of these safety and security books, a letter falls out. Not just one letter, several letters.
Okay.
So the professor starts reading the letters, and he realizes these letters are written to Armand from his ex-wife, Rosemary.
Mm, yeah.
And in one of the letters, Rosemary is begging Armand to come back to her. Please come back to me. Come back to our family where we can build a home. We miss you so much.
Okay.
And then in another letter, it was Armand's reply to Rosemary, telling her that he couldn't come home because his calling to the medical profession is far too great to be bothered with my wife and children. You idiot.
That makes sense. That sounds like him.
So the professor was a little bit shooketh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's weird to come across.
Find such personal information in a random lab book.
Yeah.
But then he got the gut feeling that Armand planted this.
Yeah.
Armand wanted me to find these letters.
Yeah.
This is his weirdo way of explaining away why I didn't find anything about the accident. Armand, when the professor seems to know that Armand knows that the professor is on to him.
Okay.
He's not calling him out. He's not making it a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point in their interactions, the professor is seeming no longer impressed.
Yeah.
And it's clear that he's not falling for the okie doke anymore.
Yeah.
So the professor is like, I think he put these there.
That is so... Yeah. Whatever the motive, that is just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
And
This
then
is some disordered thinking.
And then after finding the letters, the professor found the letters, Armand announced that he was leaving school. And the professor's like, that's fine.
Goodbye.
Don't need to
Thank God.
keep you around. And he was telling weird lies.
Yeah.
Like, the professor had a habit of throwing a holiday party for transplants.
Mm-hmm.
It's just his jam.
Yeah, that's nice.
And Armand came to one of his parties, and the first thing he told them was that he was late because he took a homeless man for breakfast or something.
Okay, buddy. Saint Armando.
I'm like, so what, you gave him $20 and the homeless person kept it pushing?
Right?
Like, did you really take a homeless person to Denny's?
Yeah.
Or
I mean, at least you didn't pull a kitten out of a tree or save a screaming baby from a fire, you know?
No, that's for the Flash.
Exactly. No, I saved a homeless person this morning. I fed them, and that made me late.
Yep. And so the professor's like, okay, that's cute, but you borrowed some books from me and I would like them back before you bounce. Along with the keys to the lab. You can't
Yes.
keep keys to the lab anymore.
Right?
And the professor was like, look, I have your microscope and a couple other things, so why don't we just even trade?
Yeah.
You give me my lab keys and my books, I'll give you back your microscope.
Mm-hmm.
Easy peasy, you would think. Later that night,
Mm-hmm.
another student sees Armand trying to break into the lab.
Okay.
A few
So
days, yeah,
weird. Ugh.
because he wants to get whatever he wants to get out of the
Okay.
lab.
I don't know if he wanted to plant more letters or just be weird.
I think he wanted to plant more letters about something ridiculous. I also think he wanted to steal lab equipment.
Oh, probably. I wouldn't put it past him.
So, a few days later, Armand went to the lab finally to give the professor the stuff back the right way. The professor had rigged his laboratory door.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was that suspicious of Armand. And he rigged it in such a way that even if you had the key, you couldn't get in.
Oh, good.
But the professor knew how to disarm whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like the club for
Yeah.
classroom doors.
Mm-hmm.
The professor knew how to get around whatever he had jerry-rigged. But a regular person that didn't know what the professor had done to the inside locks
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to get through.
Nice.
So, finally, Armand has no choice but to come back and give the professor back the books and stuff the correct way. The professor gives back the microscope. And as he's giving the microscope back to Armand, for the first time, the professor realizes that the property tag on the bottom of the microscope says that it belongs to the University of Notre Dame Extension School.
Thief.
And this is why I think he was there to steal lab equipment.
That makes sense. Yeah.
2 weeks after Armand left school, the professor got a call from campus police about missing lab equipment.
Oh my God. Of course.
And after this, Armand left Berkeley for good. You let him tell it he was moving on to med school, yada, yada,
Right.
yada.
Yeah.
But the reality is his fraud was
Yeah.
coming home to roost.
He was getting found out.
Yeah, all of his grades, all of his letters of recommendations, everything was forged, written on stolen hospital stationery.
Yeah.
His grant application was full of lies to get more funding. He had met and romanced and then conned no less than 2 other women out of several thousands of dollars.
Oh.
This is all while he's still conning old Sonny over there.
Oh, Paula?
Or Paula.
Yeah.
Sonny's another con for another day. Con and old Paula over here.
Yeah.
It's a mess. It's a whole fucking mess.
He's very productive, though.
And then he disappears.
Yay. Good.
After leaving Berkeley, Armand finds his way to New Mexico in 1992.
All right. What did New Mexico ever do to you, sir?
Just be a weird place.
Yeah, but they're harmless.
Generally. After arriving in Albuquerque, Armand officially changed his name to Diazien Hossencofft.
Oh, that's so weird. He has such bad taste.
Diazien, D-I-A-Z-I-E-N, Hossencofft.
Yeah.
Hossencofft. And I even made that spelling up. I think there's like a Z in it or something stupid.
Of course.
Well, because...
I must make it more exotic.
In later interviews, Diazien, from here on, he is known as Diazien.
Okay.
Or just D.
Yeah.
Armando is dead. Long live Diazien Hossencofft. In later interviews, Diazien would say he came to the name because it combined the two master races.
Oh, God.
The German and the Japanese.
That's so gross.
Yes. And the professor would say that Diazien would draw these weird little swastika lightning bolt things in the margins of his notebooks.
How chilling. That is chilling.
He would just be like...
For a grown man to do that?
Yes.
I could see some, like, asshole 12-year-old doing it.
Nazis and a lightning bolt of my swastika.
Good God.
Like some sort of like superhero branding or some shit that he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, shit, what was that movie? I love that movie too. It was Superman, but not Superman.
There's a couple of those.
With the little boy.
Oh, like Brightburn.
Brightburn, thank you. How that little kid had those little BB. He would draw his little supervillain logo all the time. That's what Diazien's doing.
Yes.
Only he's just drawing swastikas and lightning bolts.
Gross.
But that's what I imagine. He's like a little kid in his imaginary supervillain logo.
Yeah, there is something very little kid about him.
Very. Not long after settling into New Mexico, Diazien would come into the employ of another wealthy heiress named Sunny Blake.
Man, he can pick him.
Man. Sunny was in her middle-late 60s and suffering from breast cancer.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, her and her husband were in an open relationship. Their kids are grown. She's dealing with breast cancer. And she just wanted some new people to pass the time with.
Yeah.
So she put an ad in a dating magazine looking for companionship. That's how they did it, kids, before Swipe Life. Before you just was like, right, left,
yeah,
swipe, half, swipe.
No, you'd have to pick up the telephone and, like, talk to an 800 line and, like, pay something to put out a personal ad.
Right, you have to pay, like, $10 to record a message on a voicemail.
Yes.
And then hopefully people liked it.
Exactly.
And then they called and left your voicemail. And then you would voicemail call each other.
Exactly.
And then maybe meet.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
It was a lot of work.
A lot. Or the newspaper.
Yeah.
Just look up the personals. Diazien came into Sunny's life telling her that he's a cutting-edge geneticist that could not only cure her cancer, but he would reverse the aging process as well.
Sure, buddy. Sure.
Reverse the aging process. So Sunny is being told by Diazien
Yes.
that he can reverse the aging process because he's a cutting-edge geneticist and he will cure her cancer.
Aw, it is so cruel to, like, play on
And
people's desperation.
reverse the aging process. He's better than Ozempic.
Much better.
Which, why take Ozempic to lose 15 pounds? Diabetes medicine, just wait.
Yeah, right.
Give it 10, 15 years.
Exactly.
If you are 45 and
hurry.
over, thinking about taking Ozempic to lose that pesky 10, wait. Give it 5, 10 years. You'll be a diabetic soon enough and you can just get the shit.
There you go.
Also, it only makes you lose about 15 pounds.
I thought it was 15% of your body weight.
No, it's about 15 pounds.
Okay.
And then after that, it kind of becomes non-effective. But that's for actual diabetics.
Mm-hmm.
Actual diabetics only get about like 15 pounds weight loss. But yeah, just wait. Just wait.
Your time will come.
You'll need Ozempic eventually. For now, put that cheeseburger down and do some extra crunches.
Exactly.
Donuts only on Fridays. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
find a way.
Just don't do Wegovy either. It's the same shit.
Exactly. Different name.
So over the next 3 years, Diazien would charge Sunny $3,600 hairs.
$3,600?
$3,600 hairs.
Altogether or per session?
Per month.
Per month.
For fake cancer and anti-aging treatments.
What?
He'd invoice her. He'd give her an invoice.
Oh my God.
And for a mass spectrometer and a this, that, and the other.
And a Reiki shakedown.
But like the invoice that he gave her looked professional. It looked medical. It looked like things that you can't pronounce. It's like, sure, that's medicine.
Yeah, this looks legit.
And she paid it.
Oh, bless her heart.
He also told Sunny the story about how he had a wife and daughter. They died in a car crash.
He likes that one.
He does. He really enjoys it.
It's weird.
And he's going to recreate his daughter in his land.
Oh my God. What? Man, we've come so far. When this is not like a sufficient red flag for a woman in the 90s, we have come so far.
Man.
If someone talks about like cloning their long lost daughter, run. Get the fuck out of there.
Clone her in a lab.
Run, girl, run.
Also, my anti-aging and cancer treatments come from my own DNA.
Ew. It's just so ew.
Oh, based on that story, Sunny started letting Diazien to inject her with his bloods.
Oh, that is so gross. That is so unsanitary. Because I can't imagine keeping it at a safe temperature.
His warm, goopy.
Gross. Stop it.
Just here, have some.
It is so gross.
Eventually, under Diazien's care, Sunny's breasts swelled to the size of grapefruits.
Oh.
And not in the sexy way.
Yeah. Oh, poor thing.
Her son was finally able to talk to her into seeing a real oncologist.
Yeah.
She had long since fired her other medical team.
Oh, damn
In favor of Diazien and his treatments.
it.
And when she finally got a second opinion, it was too late.
Yeah.
Sunny only had a few months left. And her doctor, the real oncologist, told her if you would have come to me a year ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago, we could have done something.
Yeah.
It could have been chemo, it could have been radiation, it could have been a mastectomy, could have been a lot of things.
Yeah.
But we could have helped you live well into your 80s.
Yeah.
But now, all you got is these grapefruit titties and a time and a time card.
Yeah.
Ready to punch out in a few months. Her son was able to get a restraining order to keep Diazien away from his mother.
That's something.
But not before she bought him a house.
Oh, no. Oh, that's gross. That is, what a parasite.
Oh, she was a true believer.
Oh, bless her heart. Aw.
Yeah, she bought Diazien a house in Albuquerque. By the time Sunny had died in 1996, Diazien had taken her for over $500,000.
Oh my god. Yeah. He's a tick.
At least all the ticks will leave you with his Lyme disease.
True. Although I'm pretty sure if he had Lyme disease, whoever he was infusing was getting it too.
Yeah, probably.
Who knows what, like, where has a Diazien been? I don't know. Ugh.
I know, and I'll tell you later. While this wasn't the only scam Diazien was running at the time, it does seem like this is where he begins telling people that he's an alien and he's thousands of years old, and his anti-aging and medical treatments are based on his very special, very secret alien DNA.
And again, I say thank God this man didn't go to medical school.
He doctored enough people. We're only going to talk about the highlights, but he doctored enough.
No, he didn't need, like, access to that equipment and those people.
But a mass spectrometer, G. A mass spectrometer.
I'm not radioactive, sir.
I think
He's
the
such
mass
a weirdo.
spectrometer is the thing that you use to separate out drugs.
Oh, yeah?
Like if you had blood or something, you put it in a mass spectrometer, and it spins around and it separates like the platelets from the...
Oh, I thought that was a centrifuge.
I don't know. It's a thing. I'm not a doctor.
Like STEMmy appliance thing.
Much like Diazien, I'm not a
analyzer.
doctor, but I play one on TV. So I'm just going to make up what the fuck
He
that
never
machine
would have
is
made it
for.
to medical school.
So how you feeling about old Diazien?
Oh, he will always be insufferable. Like, just a horrible cartoon villain.
Yes.
Or like that, Christopher Lloyd's character from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the judge. That's him. If he was short. If the judge was like short.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd's pretty tall.
Just weird, doing experiments, like a hint of like racial superiority.
Yeah, he's so weird.
Yeah. It's like, dude, what?
He is so
Weird.
weird.
How? Like, I didn't know you could get knocked into being a Nazi. You get hit on the head so hard, you wake up a Nazi.
Apparently you can.
Ugh.
He is quite literally living proof that that can happen to somebody.
And that it's brain damage.
True story. So we're going to put Diazien on ice for a little bit.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about Girly Chew.
Yes.
The reason for the season.
Exactly. Oh, girly.
Girly Chew was born in Malaysia in 1963. And by all accounts, Girly was a smart woman who was religious, gentle, and kind.
Yes.
Because Girly was still single, she lived at home. In Malaysia, it's really common for unmarried people to stay at home until they get hitched. It's not...
And even then,
yeah,
might not leave.
Multi-generational homes are more common. There's still some people to this day in this country that are like that. Their children need to get hitched.
Yeah. And then you can leave. But with rents the way they are, it's like, live at home, do it. I support you.
I'm not mad.
It.
But Girly had a good job at the bank, and she loved to travel with her girlfriends.
Yay! That's an awesome life.
Well, some of the details of their meeting are murky. It seems that Girly either met Armand Chavez through a pen pal website magazine, because it's the early 90s, so you still have both. Or they could have met in the U.S. when Girly was visiting.
Okay.
You get two different versions of the story, and both are plausible to me. In 1993, after months of letter writing, Girly and her friend went to San Diego to check out SeaWorld.
Oh, okay.
Now, we do know that this is one of the first times that she would meet Armand in person.
Okay.
It's part of that trip to San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
That they were finally going to meet.
Hmm.
Yeah. But then some people say that they met at San Diego and then kept the... That's why I said there were two different versions of the story. And both of them are plausible.
Mm-hmm.
That they met at SeaWorld, exchanged information, and kept up a correspondence. Or that they met in a pen pal type magazine.
Huh.
Equally plausible. And
I don't know. Coming from Malaysia to go to SeaWorld.
Girly likes amusement parks. It's kind of her fucking jam.
Mm.
So, I mean, SeaWorld's not as amusing as other amusement parks. I've seen Blackfish. It's horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, right? But I would think, like, if you're into parks, you'd be going to LA with Knott's Berry Farm and...
Oh, she'd been to those places.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It wasn't like SeaWorld or Bus.
I am shitting on SeaWorld. I'm not going to pretend I'm not. No, it's not worth traveling, like, across the Pacific for.
It's an abusive fish zoo. Of course we're going to shit on SeaWorld.
Absolutely. I just think it makes more sense that you're meeting someone in San Diego as opposed to you really gotta see San Diego.
Honestly, if I was going to just meet somebody in San Diego, I would rather meet them at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park.
There you go.
Because there I get to, like, pet a giraffe or something.
Yeah.
So the pair hit it off for whatever reason. And Armand proceeds to sweep Girly and her family off of their collective feet. Holy love bomb, Batman.
Yikes. Yeah. Aw.
In all of his letters to Girly, Armand told her and her family about his career as an in-demand surgeon / medical lecturer / teacher.
Yes.
His dead wife and kid.
Of course.
And the wonderful life that him and Girly were going to have together. He even went so far as to send Girly and her family copies of his resume, which was filled with spelling mistakes.
Oh my god, it's such a kid brain thing to do. This is a child in a grown body.
Also, the fact that English is not these people's first language is why they aren't catching the spelling mistakes.
True.
Because this thing is typo-ridden.
Oh my god.
And partially redacted.
That hint of mystery. I'm an international man of mystery.
Man. The Chew family took all of Armand's claims at face value.
Bless. These are trusting people.
Because they're normal and they're sane.
I know, right?
And those normal people don't expect to run into a Diazien Armand.
Who will just lie about anything.
Yeah, nobody expects to run into those people. Later that year, Girly came to New Mexico to visit Armand. And she was greeted with a massive engagement ring.
Oh my God.
I'm talking, this thing was like fucking 5'8" carats. Sorry. So later that year, when Girly comes to New Mexico to visit Armand, he's still Armand to her.
Still Armand. Armand! I can never hear that not in Nathan Lane's voice.
But Armand! Oh, the Birdcage. I do love that movie.
It's so good.
It's
a classic.
It's a near perfect piece of film.
Yeah. That truly is Robin Williams' finest movie.
It's up there. It's definitely in his Hot 100. I would definitely put it in his top 5. But then there are people that make arguments for like his more dramatic work, and I'm just not willing to die on those anthills.
Yeah.
And let people have them.
Yeah.
Because Robin Williams.
I feel like The Birdcage is just like the best of what he does.
Oh God! Remember when they had like a 55-year-old Callista Flockhart?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's pretending to be 19 in that.
She was 86.
Yeah. If a day.
Married to Harrison Ford. So Girly gets this massive, like, fucking 8-10 carat. I forget how big it was.
It is a rock, a boulder.
Like, oh my God! Somebody hold my hand. Oh, I can't lift my arm up.
I'm getting carpal tunnel as we speak.
Security.
Help me!
Security. How can I walk around with all this rock
I need
on
a
my
sling.
head?
I need a sling. Oh, my neck.
My neck, my back, my Netflix, and my snacks.
Yes.
So, yeah, that, like, super love bomb.
Yeah, that is an overwhelming amount of cubic zirconia, sir.
Man. But after they got engaged, Armand gave Girly strict orders
Oh, no.
not to call him Armand anymore.
Oh.
Because you see, Jeannie, Armand, it's not his real name.
No.
No. His real name, Jeannie,
Dun dun dun.
is Diazien
Bottom.
Hossencofft.
Bottom.
And Armand is the fake name that he uses when he's out on secret missions with the CIA.
Of course, it always comes back. What is with crazy people? Their fixation with the CIA.
I don't know why they're obsessed with the Culinary Art Institute of America.
Right? It's weird.
And they never bring me tasty treats.
Ever. How dare they?
They just get
Lazy.
us all sorts of weird trouble.
Yes.
I mean,
Man.
yeah, anytime somebody's, again, if people start telling you that they work for the CIA, just leave them alone.
Exactly. No good can come of that. None.
Because real people that work at the CIA will never tell you.
Ever.
Unless he's the mailroom guy.
Exactly. And he's lying.
Right.
No, you worked at the CIA, sir.
Right? Not for, but at. Just in their building. Not Armand. My bad. I almost fucked up. Diazien
Ugh.
also gave Girly his true origin story.
Oh my god.
For you see,
He was found in a cornfield, you see.
yes, in a spaceship.
Yes.
His
Last
parents.
son of a dying world.
Yes. He killed all the cows. Yada yada yada.
Poor Girly. Girly, you deserve better than this.
No.
You can't prepare yourself for a liar of this caliber.
Diazien's true origin.
Oh my god.
Is that he is a product of a wealthy but dead
Yes.
Swiss family
Oh.
that had left him with a massive trust fund that allowed him to live comfortably as he traveled around the country operating on women and children that had been injured in accidents. Never men.
Yeah, because that would be gay.
Never men.
That's gay.
And if he works on a boy, that boy is under 12.
Okay, that makes it all right.
Women and children. He don't work on men.
Weird.
These are the things that change boys to men. It's apparently he just, yeah. And it's because saying women and children's more sympathetic than
True.
just saying accident
Yeah.
victims.
But I bet he's scared of men.
They'll kick his ass.
Exactly.
Can't fight.
His, like, voodoo doesn't work as well on them.
It honestly doesn't. It really doesn't. It works on a handful of select men,
Mm-hmm.
but as a general rule, dudes are like, get the fuck out of here.
Right?
It's bullshit.
Unless there's, like, a meeting of the minds.
Yeah. When he's not working on injured women and children, or teaching or lecturing, he speaks at universities all over the country.
Of course. I am a visiting lecturer.
And because their life is so comfortable, Girly doesn't question him at all.
Oh, wait.
He has a nice house, he has a nice car, he dresses well,
This seems
money
plausible.
never seems to be an issue.
Mhm.
As she gets settled into life in the U.S., Girly and Diazien adopted 2 dogs, but both would die as puppies.
Oh.
Most likely poisoned by Diazien.
Yes.
Because he does like to poison.
I know. Sicko.
Girly got a job at a local bank where she was a favorite among employees and customers alike.
Of course. She's a delight.
She was never sick, never late, never missed a day at work.
That's incredible. Good for you for being healthy.
She was always curious, as she was sweet. Girly always wanted to know everything about banking and financial services.
Oh, cool.
not just like, how does it work when I push the numbers into the machine?
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to know how the system works. How should I read this before I put the numbers into the machine to make all of these things cohesive together, right? She was so eager to learn that her nickname amongst her coworkers was Computer Chip.
Oh, that's adorable.
It's adorable, bordering on racist. I'll let them have it.
Fair. Yeah, I see what you mean.
I'm gonna say that that's not their intent, and Girly knows that, so she's letting it live, and so will I. Because I was like, Computer Chip, really? Y'all motherfuckers. Y'all dirty dick motherfuckers. Calling that girl that.
I know it should be Precious, but you're right. There is a hint of, oh, yeah.
You know, you can't be true crime without like one tiny borderline offensive racial signifier. Problems began to surface early in the Hossencofft marriage when they found out that Girly had fertility issues.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Even though he had abandoned a family years earlier, he had a whole ass son out there.
Yep.
So even though he had abandoned a family, he's already abandoned a whole ass wife and child.
Yes.
But now Diazien is desperate to have children.
Oh God.
He told Girly that he's the least of his line, the least of his kind.
Yes. Oh God.
And he
might be right.
to have another child. Or just a child. She doesn't know about the other child.
Yes.
She thinks his wife and child are dead.
Right.
To further his goal of having a kid, Diazien floated the idea of bringing a surrogate into the relationship. Girly didn't want to use a surrogate, and she didn't want to adopt.
Okay.
And she wanted to have her own child.
Yeah.
And that's mostly because she was afraid that with surrogacy or adoption, the birth mother could change their mind at some point and come back for the kid.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Which I'm gonna give it fair. I know by the 90s, at least in the US, all of those legal questions around surrogacy, IVF, and adoption had been handled.
Yeah.
We'd litigated all of those fights.
Yeah, but not all fears are rational.
No, and
it is a fear.
And I don't know what the adoption scene is like in Malaysia.
True.
In the surrogacy scene. I don't know what it's like there. For all I know, they haven't litigated those things. And it's a lot more realistic that a birth parent could change their mind. But, as you say, phobias aren't rational.
Yeah.
But that was what was keeping her from adoption, surrogacy, or anything other than having her own bio kid. Diazien insisted that a surrogacy could work as long as he had sex with the surrogates to make sure that the child would be conceived in love.
He's such a creep.
He has to have a fun baby, Julie.
Ugh, gross.
You can't just ask him to give baby batter to some woman to have his kid and not expect him not to low.
No, he's gotta be a creep.
Gotta be a fun baby.
He's a creep.
He's a weirdo. The hell are you doing here?
You don't belong here.
But the child needs to be conceived in love.
Sir, you are not capable of love.
No, he is not.
He's just a creep.
Yes. Eventually, they would table that conversation. But while Girly believed that her husband was at first in grad school, then being airlifted to perform emergency surgeries on no men, but plenty of women and children.
Yes.
Only boys under the age of 12.
Yeah. Them's rules.
And speaking at universities and doing all of this shit, he was actually having affairs with other women and conning them out of money.
He's so dirty. He is so gross and dirty.
Yeah. He's just out there macking on bitches and taking their cash. But because money was coming in, Girly didn't question him about his trips.
Yeah. So far, the lies are checking out.
Yeah, because for her, this is a successful American life.
Yeah. Yeah. It would appear so.
He works, she works. They own their home, they own their cars.
Yeah.
They're never pressed for money.
Mm-hmm.
On one business trip, Diazien and his henchman, Dwayne Baker. Yeah, Diazien has a henchman.
Of course, like Ren had a henchman, that's Stimpy. So this is his Stimpy?
Yes. So he met Dwayne at a movie theater.
Okay. That's random.
Yeah, Diazien pulled up to the movie theater in his Porsche, whatever the fuck. Very fancy.
Yeah.
Very pretty car. Dwayne sees it. He's impressed. He's a car guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes up to Diazien as he's getting out of the car and struck up a conversation like, bro, what do you got to do to get a ride like this, man?
Teach me your ways.
And Diazien is like, well, you got to go to school, got to get an education.
Mm-hmm.
And Dwayne's like, okay, so what do you do? What's your education in?
Yeah.
And then that's when he tells him he's a cutting edge geneticist.
Yeah.
Yada, 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 yada.
Yeah.
CIA, doctors, surgeries, cloning children.
Yeah.
And he even tells Dwayne that he's starting a new company and offers him a gig as, like, the CFO.
Because that's normal. That happens.
Now, I'm not going to shade Dwayne and his intelligence. But Dwayne is a blue-collar guy that I would not make the chief. I would make him the chief officer of my shits.
Yeah. You're out of your depth, sir.
Let alone put him in charge of a company. The fact that he had known Diazien for less than 24 hours, and he was like, I could make you my CFO in my new company.
Yeah.
Should tell Dwayne
that is gullible.
that there is a problem.
Yeah.
That's why I say I don't want to say he's completely unintelligent or 100% naive, but...
Yeah, but he's looking for get rich quick, and this seems pretty quick.
And so after that conversation, the pair strike up a friendship, and next thing you know, Dwayne's Diazien's fucking henchman. That's how he starts henching for Diazien. And, their relationship basically consists of Diazien talks shit.
Mm-hmm.
People get upset.
Yes.
People would like to pound his fucking head into the pavement.
Yes, because he is insufferable to normal people.
But then Dwayne, who was 6'3", 280 pounds, steps in between Diazien and the shit talker. 99% of the time, the shit talker don't want any smoke with Dwayne.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Right? And so the Diazien gets to hide behind Dwayne's skirts.
Yes.
And go,
And he is a Hanna-Barbera villain.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so that's how Dwayne's henching.
Yeah.
So because he is a henchman, Diazien took Dwayne with him on a trip to Canada. And on this trip to Canada, Diazien meets a Japanese national.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how. I don't know if this is another pen pal situation.
Yeah.
Or they met in a bar.
Yeah.
Whatever. But he meets this Japanese woman in Canada. The pair quickly strike up an affair. And it's not long before this Japanese woman is pregnant.
Mm.
And she goes back to Japan to have her son.
Mm.
While she was in Japan, she kept up communication with Diazien. And during their talks, Diazien convinced her that their son had a rare genetic disorder that only I can cure.
Yeah.
Eventually, I don't know what he said to this woman, but this lie had to have been so fucking cold.
Yeah.
Because he talks her into giving up her parental rights so that he can save the child from this genetic illness that only I can cure.
He's an accomplished and practiced con. So I'm not surprised.
Bro.
Yeah.
So when the baby was a few months old, Diazien goes to Mexico City where he meets up with his paramour,
Mm-hmm.
and she hands over the baby,
Mm-hmm.
paperwork and all, and he heads back to New Mexico and brought his son home and said he's adopted.
Guess what, honey?
Yeah.
Surprise.
The boy is named Dimitri,
Cute.
and according to Diazien, he is a Mexican orphan.
Okay.
Now here's the thing. Yes, Dimitri is biracial.
Yes.
He is Latin and Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
But this child clearly presents as Asian.
Mm.
He does not look like what one might think of when they say a Mexican orphan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a Japanese child.
Yes.
But even though that's weird as fuck,
Mm-hmm.
Girly took on the boy
Yeah.
and began playing mother to Dimitri.
Oh, bless her heart.
Want to know how long they've been married?
Oh, God. How long?
Take a guess. Take a stab.
I'm going to say 3-5 years.
6 months.
Oh, God. I knew it was going to be awful like that.
6 months. He's like, this is Dimitri. He is adopted
That is
from
so
Mexico.
gross.
It's baby. Here. And she just took him.
Oh, bless.
Poor Girly.
I know. I know.
Now that Girly has been saddled with a child after 6 months of marriage,
Saint Girly. She was like raised to be a very nice lady.
Girly is gonna have to deal with Diazien's cancer
Oh, mm.
and his secret room.
God.
It's a
Ugh,
secret
so
room,
Bluebeard. Oh,
Secret.
she deserves such a much more normal person.
The room is secret.
You
Don't go into the secret room.
know what? Don't go in there. Get out. Pack your stuff, grab that baby, get the fuck out.
So while Girly's dealing with motherhood,
Yes.
Diazien is off doing his own thing. You know, he had been in the neighborhood for a few years and he had made some friendships with a few of the neighbors. And he was particularly fond of his elderly neighbors on the right of his house, the toros,
Okay.
the bulls.
I love that.
He was-
Toro.
Toro, ah. Don't stab the bull, but
Yeah.
don't tease them into stabbing you either.
Yeah, that is cruel.
It
It is
is.
cruel. I mean, I love the color palette, but it's cruel.
But I also love the running of the bulls because it's like, this is what y'all get.
Yeah.
This is what y'all
It
get.
seems more like a treat for the bulls.
It feels like in Spain they understand where they fucked up
Yes.
and they understand where they're wrong
Yeah.
and they let the bulls get their revenge. It's a very like we're not going to quit doing this thing that kills the bulls.
Yeah, which is fucked up.
Because we've got a lot of culture and history and things are involved with it. And I understand even though I don't quite get it.
Yeah.
I understand a lot of history and culture is
Yeah.
tied up into that, and that's why they still do it.
Mm-hmm.
But respect for giving the bulls a lick back. It's like,
Like I said, I think it's a treat for the bulls.
we would kill them in the arena, but we let them get their lick back.
Yes.
We let them chase us through the streets, and hopefully they don't catch up.
Get them, bulls.
Yeah.
That is hysterical.
So Diazien is particularly fond of Mr. Toro.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mr. Toro is a retired scientist. A real one.
Yes.
Not a fucking Diazien
Yeah.
scientist.
Science fiction.
Where he's just like going around taking his own blood and
Yeah.
shooting people up with his blood and looking at blood and
Yeah,
microscopes.
he's a science
and,
fictionist.
Yeah. He's an L. Ron Hubbard.
Exactly.
Who was a science fictionist.
Exactly. Like he
A
wrote
horrible
science
one.
fiction. But he knew it. He knew what he was doing. Diazien is so like, fucked up? I don't know.
But Mr. Toro worked for real scientific places,
Yes.
doing real science, doing real things.
He is authentic.
He had worked for NASA. He'd held some government jobs.
Cool.
He worked in the private sector as well. He's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever Diazien was home, he liked to go next door and play chess with Mr. Toro and talk shop.
Okay.
You know, he's a scientist after all.
Yes.
Who better to talk to
Right?
than another scientist?
Someone on my level.
Girl. And when they would play chess, Diazien would tell Mr. Toro about his work with the CIA and top secret government projects that he worked on in a secret locked bedroom in his home.
God.
His bedroom is top secret, and not even Girly is allowed to see what's inside of his top secret room.
I am an international man of mystery.
Now, Mr. Toro could give a fuck about this secret room. He doesn't believe that Diazien's in the CIA. He didn't believe any of it.
Of course not. He's educated.
But he finds Diazien to be entertaining, and he's a decent chess player. This man is 70-something years old.
Yeah.
He's retired.
And here's someone who's gonna, like, entertain him.
Yeah. He knows just enough jargon to be dangerous and entertaining.
Yes.
Is how Mr. Toro sees him. So, it was around this time of the secret room that Diazien starts telling people that he's been diagnosed with leukemia.
Oh my god, if only.
And he only had 6 months to live because of the
If only.
leukemia. Leukemia.
Oh god.
Said him and Girly are married less than a year, maybe 8 months a year before he starts kicking in this leukemia story.
Oh god.
It's out 6 months in, he dropped her off with a
Oh
kid.
my god, and sickness and then health came real quick, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. But after 3 years of being neighbors, Mrs. Toro was beginning to become suspicious of Diazien and his diagnosis. She's like, motherfucker, you said you had 6 months.
Yeah.
I have had a tuna casserole in the freezer waiting for Girly for 3 years.
Yeah.
I have had a black dress ironed, pressed, and hanging on the back of my door for your funeral for 3 years.
Yeah, why do you keep me waiting?
Why are you dying?
Yeah.
You said 6 months.
Yeah. It's been much longer than that.
But Diazien would just wave off her concerns and tell her that a fellow CIA scientist had given him a top secret treatment that was capable of adding years to his life, even though he's suffering with leukemia.
How convenient.
And I know he doesn't say leukemia, he says leukemia.
Yes.
Actually, his professor at Berkeley said that the Ren voice is very close to Diazien.
That is so weird.
Yeah. Apparently, I think some years ago, the bros on Last Podcast on the Left covered this case. And apparently that Berkeley professor is a fan of that show.
Oh, cool.
And he actually wrote them an email about, you know, his experience with Diazien. And he said that the Ren voice is
very close to life.
Pretty accurate.
That is awesome.
Which is another reason why I don't understand why anybody actually takes him seriously. Because I would not be able to take you seriously if you always spoke to me like this.
Right?
I did. What the fuck is your problem?
He fills a niche. There are some niche people who are into that. I mean, look at the results.
I guess it's niche like a motherfucker too.
Right?
It's more like a crevice.
Hey, it is to some people's taste.
Man. So in the meantime, Girly is taking care of Dimitri and working. However, things aren't good in the Hossencofft home, you know, because he dropped a baby on her.
Yes.
Details are a little sketchy, but at some point between 1995 and 1996, Diazien had become a morphine addict.
Oh my god. Well, that escalated.
I have a theory. I can't prove it one way or another. I think he started using morphine as a way to further the leukemia scam.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta take this medicine. I'm on morphine.
Mm-hmm.
So much pain from the leukemia. Give me pussy. Give me money. Give me something.
Yeah.
But like all hardcore opiates, you can't fuck around with that for too long before you get up.
How did he get his hands on it?
Who knows? Cons are gonna con.
True.
I mean, I know morphine is highly regulated, but
Yeah.
if you tried hard enough, you can.
I'm sure you can get on the black market or something.
Yeah.
It just seems like that's a lot of trouble you're going to get morphine.
But I think that he started taking it to further the leukemia scam.
Oh, definitely for some scam. And he probably does think he's like too smart and too tough to ever like get addicted to it.
Oh, but he's a mean old junkie.
Of course he is. He's human.
Before this is all over, he's gonna have like a Requiem for a Dream level hole in the ditch of his elbow.
Oh, gross. Ugh. He deserves it.
Requiem for a Dream, last great Jared Leto movie that I saw.
True. It is a good one. Grim but very good.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love that movie. I was like, oh look, Marlon Wayans can be not a dick.
Yeah. He could be a great actor. Holy shit.
Right?
Who directed that? Jim Jarmusch?
I think so.
I think, yeah.
It seems
like
he
gets like interesting stuff out of people.
Yeah. And then like Jared Leto can go live with his weird cult forever after that.
No, he should be stopped.
Oh no, we probably should stop Jared
Yeah.
Leto. We just don't know where the bodies are yet.
Yeah.
Getting the operative word there. And so eventually Diazien will have
Allegedly. Sorry.
Allegedly, he has a cult.
Yes.
Of young
And
women.
there's allegedly bodies.
Allegedly there might be bodies somewhere.
Alright. We'll see why either.
Right? But yeah, Diazien will have eventually a quarter-size hole in the bend of his arm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so gross.
But track marks be damned. Diazien was still able to seduce a local stylist out of Supercuts, who became his mistress. And like so many women before her, she fell for his stories about being in the CIA and working with the NSA.
Man, people used to be so much more gullible. Before the internet, I feel like the internet has made us a little smarter in some ways.
I don't know, because there's still some people that fall for some wild shit.
True.
There are some places where the internet has made us better.
Mm-hmm.
That like if somebody's coming to you with a weird story, you're more inclined to check it out.
Yeah. And better equipped too.
But then there's other shit that people still fall for QAnon and God only knows what other kind.
I think for that stuff, there's deep down, there's something about it they want to believe.
All conspiracies are something that you want to believe.
They get something out of it.
Yeah,
it makes them like special or something.
The person that believes the conspiracy theory is always getting something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what these women get out of believing Diazien.
I know, right?
But all conspiracy theorists are getting something, be it purpose, or esteem, in some way, in at least in that community, whatever. Everybody's getting something.
Yes.
I just don't understand what it could be from Diazien.
Yeah, I just chalk it up to the knock to the noggin.
The dick can't be that good because you know he's throwing the pipe to all these women.
Of course.
Can't be good. Can't. I refuse to believe it.
It happened though, or it's just like women were just that much more boy crazy back then, because they're still coming out of like you're nothing if you don't have a man.
But we say that shit now.
True. It's not as bad now.
No, but it's still said. It's still. True. Oh no! Now it just lives in the ether. It's not as in your face.
True.
Now it just lives in the air because they've been shoving it at you for so long. It doesn't have to work for
it.
But
we've let it go, and it is floating away.
Yeah.
That's why he's just in the ether.
So, and when he wasn't working for the CIA or the NSA, Diazien is a world-renowned doctor and scientist.
Of course.
That, of course, works on women and children, only boys under 12.
Yes. Boundaries.
This woman was so comfortable with Diazien.
Mm-hmm.
that she asked him to give her daughter a physical
Oh my god.
when it was time for the insurance or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Thankfully, it wasn't. It was weird, but not horrifying.
Oh, good.
Her daughter was interviewed much later,
Mm-hmm.
and all that happened was they went into a room.
Yes.
Diazien had her stripped to her underwear,
Oh, yeah.
and then he just like curled up on a bar stool like some sort of weird, goofy viper.
Yes.
Just stared at her for like 10 minutes.
Oh my god, that is so uncomfortable. That poor girl.
Then he told her to get dressed. Physical's over.
Ugh.
But he didn't do anything. Like, he didn't do anything. He wasn't acting lecherous.
Yeah.
He was just like, he stripped down to your underwear. And he just perched on this bar stool.
Weird. What a fucking weirdo.
In my head, he looks like Light from Death Note. Just kind of like perched like a weird parrot.
Yeah.
Not moving, not doing anything.
Yeah.
Just perched there. Like a goofy parrot just
Gargoyle.
staring at her. Hey, it could have been way worse.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Ugh.
It could have been way fucking worse. I will say this. Diazien Hossencofft is not a good person, but he is not that.
Yeah.
I know the bar is incredibly low.
Yeah. His sins are many. That is not one, though.
No, she didn't do anything. She didn't feel it was awkward,
Yeah.
obviously.
I mean,
But she didn't feel like sexualized,
Yeah.
letched on, creeped on.
it was just weird.
It was just her standing there in her underweeds, like, what the fuck is happening here?
And
And then she left. And that was that. When confronted with his addiction, Diazien said that he needed the morphine to manage the pain for the leukemia. Telling you it's for the leukemia.
It's to manage the pain from coming down.
From the leukemia!
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And for some
Sure, bro.
reason, Supercuts lady believes it.
He seems to be very convincing.
All of it.
Yeah.
Supercuts lady is like, that tracks.
Yeah.
To which somebody should slap her with a pair of
I
scissors.
know, right?
And she kept up the relationship with Diazien even after he told her, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I can make a body disappear with the insect.
God.
Yeah. But that's not what made the stylist break up with him.
Oh, no.
No.
What did it take?
The stylist decided to leave Diazien alone when Girly showed up at the Supercuts
Okay.
and told her that Diazien is a married man and she's his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't do this in an angry, my man
Yeah.
kind of way. Girly was terrified.
Oh?
And she even begged the stylist not to tell Diazien how she found out that he was married.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she didn't want to just know that this is who you're dealing with,
Yeah.
and I gotta go.
Aw, Girly's such a good person.
And to her credit, the stylist never told.
Good.
She confronted Diazien. She's like, I found out, I heard a rumor, you're married.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true? And at first, Diazien denied it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not married, what are you talking about? She's like, cut the bullshit. This is reliable information.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this rumor.
Yeah.
You just need to come clean with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she said. Diazien went cold.
Ooh.
And he told the stylist he admitted to being married.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just gave her this look and he's like, I know how you found out. And she didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
But he somehow figured out Girly must have gotten into touch with
Mm-hmm.
her some kind of way.
Yeah.
He figured out it had to have been Girly because the stylist knows nobody else in his network of
That makes sense.
people.
Yeah.
You know? But like I said, she told Diazien when he said, how'd you find out? She was like, don't worry about it. That information is for me and fuck you for asking. I want to know if it's true.
Yeah.
And so when Diazien got home that day, he punched Girly in the face, dragged her through the house by her hair, and then dropped a dresser on her.
Ah, what a pig.
The police were called, no charges were filed, and Girly did not leave.
Oh, Girly.
Because she's nowhere, where's she gonna go?
I know. It's expensive to get back to Malaysia.
She should have just said, Mom, Dad, send me a plane ticket, I gotta go.
I know.
That's what she should have said. But as we know through however many cases we've done, abuse is not always that simple to walk away.
Yeah.
And especially people that have no frame of reference for it, you'll stick around way longer than you need to.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what the fuck just happened here.
Yeah.
And then you're still trying to figure out how you got here.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it's been a year and a half and he's been wailing on you the entire time.
Exactly.
So after almost 6 years together, the Hossencofft household was becoming increasingly abusive. The cops were coming to their neighborhood to break up fights, and Girly would often take refuge with neighbors, usually the Toros.
Yeah. It's a shame, like that can be something that is just routine. It is not leading to consequences. Like if the cops are coming out there regularly for domestic disputes to the point where she's spending the night somewhere else. And it's just like nothing. Well, but are you dead? But are you dead? You're not dead. So.
It's true. It's like 6 of one, half dozen of the other, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there is that, but did you die though?
Right.
But I do think for some people of domestic violence, it happens that first time, and then they're still trying to figure out how the fuck the shit happened. And then they wake up at 6 years later and nothing has ever got better, but they're just stuck in, how did I let this happen? And spoiler, you didn't let anything happen. It just happened. And
I mean about the cops not like taking note. Like they should be trained to be like, hey, this is a regular call. If anything, just start a paper trail.
Yeah, but the way our system works, if you don't have a cooperating witness, the DA will say this is all for naught. I can't do anything with it. So
that is a shame.
Get me a reporting witness. Give me something else, other types of physical evidence, or leave me alone.
Yeah.
And that's part of just the way our system is set up.
Boo.
Our system's not helpful,
No.
I guess what I'm trying to say.
And it is resistant to change.
Very. Sometime in 1998, while Diazien was off on one of his cons, I mean, a medical trip, I mean, a lecture, I mean, a con.
Yes.
Whatever. Girly started getting calls from other women, claiming that Hossencofft had scammed them.
Yes. He did.
And so Girly was like, I gotta get to the bottom of these phone calls. I have to go into the secret room.
Oh, God.
And she did. I don't imagine she limbered up. Like, she was like, all right. Okay. All right.
Let's do this.
Stretch it out.
Yeah.
Do some yoga. Some side twists.
Booby traps.
Some
so weird.
Some deep knee bends.
Yeah.
Maybe run in place for a few minutes, get your cardio up.
Yes.
Get the heart racing.
Yeah.
Get ready to go in there.
Sharpen those senses.
And in the secret room, it's not really a secret room. Everybody knows the room is there. It's just a bedroom that he says is always locked.
Yeah.
That's it. We didn't leave it all that secret. In the bedroom, she found evidence of all of his affairs.
Oh.
She found restraining orders. Because he had stalked a bunch of women and they filed restraining orders and he has to know where to stay away from.
Yes. So
he has restraining orders. The 4 restraining orders were sitting right next to his 5 social security numbers.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He is such a sleazebag.
Yeah. And there was evidence of all other of the affairs and the cons that he'd been running through the years. Super Supercuts lady was just another one of the hens
Yeah.
in the hen house. One of the other women that he'd had an affair with that had a restraining order was a woman that worked for the Russian embassy.
Oh my goodness.
And she claimed that Diazien had stolen her and her daughter's passports.
Oh. Ooh, that's scary.
He probably did.
Yeah.
I'm sure he stole it.
Oh, I would stake my life on it. That is some Diazien stuff.
But what is he going to do with that? He's clearly a man, and these are women's... You know what? Whatever.
Yeah.
Cons are going to con.
Well, are they American citizens or Russian citizens?
It doesn't say. It just says that she worked at the embassy and he stole the passports.
That seems like a power move.
Yeah, like you can't go anywhere.
Someone's papers.
Yeah.
Like, you can't leave the country if I have this. Haha. You can go around the country, but you can't leave the country.
Yeah, it's very weird. So after finding all this information, Girly decides that she needs to formulate a plan to file for divorce.
Yes.
And leave.
Good for her.
But while she's doing that, Girly is doing her level best to keep up appearances.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
One night, the couple is cuddling in bed, having a rare, pleasant evening together. They're watching Magnum P.I., as one is wont to do.
Yes.
Diazien asked Girly to go to the Hyatt Hotel and bring him back the breakfast menu.
It's so weird.
He needs the breakfast menu. Girly is like, that's weird because I'm pretty sure the Hyatt just serves a continental breakfast.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just regular schmegular breakfast.
You check in. They put out a free breakfast of what? Those scrambled eggs that have too much milk in them.
Yeah.
But that just might be because I don't like milk in my eggs.
Fair.
But hotels and shit seem to like to make them that way because they
fluffy.
Makes them last longer or stretch better. I just don't like it. So, milky eggs. Those little baby boxes of cereal.
Yeah, like a waffle machine.
Maybe some waffles. Like toaster waffles. Yeah. I don't think they're like in there making up waffles. I think this is straight industrial toaster.
Okay.
I don't know. When I think the Hyatt of the breakfast, I don't think of a lot of things.
I think of like a proper breakfast bar.
Yeah, but that's all it is. It's a continental breakfast bar.
Yeah.
There's some fruit, baby cereal, some eggs, some waffles, maybe some sausage and bacon.
Yeah. Possibly oatmeal.
Yeah. Which again comes in a little box. All I gotta do is pour the hot water on it.
Yeah.
Like that. And she was like, why?
Yeah, it's so random.
Breakfast menu.
Why?
So she was like, not only is this weird, but going to get this breakfast menu is going to take me out my way.
Yeah.
Like to go to work and stuff. But Diazien turned on the charm, such as it is. And he was able to convince Girly to go get him a breakfast menu from the Hyatt in the morning. Once she agreed to the errand, Diazien excused himself and left the room. We don't know what Girly was thinking, but some sort of sixth sense told her that Diazien had been out of the room for too long. And she needed to go check on what he was up to.
Oh my god. Okay.
She goes from room to room until she goes out to the garage and she finds Diazien loosening the lug nuts on her tires.
Oh my god. What a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's why he wants her to go to the Hyatt.
Yeah.
He thinks he's gonna fucking create an accident.
Yeah.
Finally, that wife and child be.
Oh yes, I can make the dream come true.
Dead wife part will be true.
Yeah.
But before she can confront him, Diazien grabbed Girly by the hair and started slamming her head into the car.
Oh my god.
Somehow, Girly was able to get away from him, and as she ran towards the garage door, he smashed the button to try to get it to close on her.
Yeah.
But she fucking Indiana Jones did.
Yeah.
Underneath the garage door, wearing nothing but a t-shirt and a pair of panties. Dun, 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 dun.
You go, girl.
And she just like, whoosh. And then she ran over to the Toros.
Yay, good. Thank God for the
And
Toros.
spent the night there. The next day, Girly filed for divorce, a restraining order,
Yay.
and she went into hiding.
Good for you, Girly. Good for you.
So, Girly's filing for divorce.
Yay.
And Diazien is going to fight her tooth and nail
Yeah.
for this divorce.
Yeah.
Or to keep her from doing it.
Yeah.
But not because he gives a fuck. He could give a shit if she lives or dies. This is about money.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Money
He is a con artist.
and preserving the con.
Yeah.
Because if she files for divorce, and they've been married about 6 years, which means she would be entitled to something.
Yes. Yeah.
As far as I know, they don't have any prenups or anything like that in place. So she would be entitled to some percentage of marital property.
Yeah.
Maybe not his house or his car, but something.
Yeah. Like I know in California it would be a 50-50 split. I don't know what New Mexico is
Yeah,
like.
I know she would be entitled to something.
Yeah. Some sort of alimony.
Something. And if she's entitled to his money, or some of his money, that means the court has to open up the books to see where the money comes from. And if the courts...
Not the tax evasion.
If the courts open up the books, and they're going to find the tax evasion,
Yeah.
the conning,
Yeah.
and the everything else,
Yeah.
the restraining orders, the lies, the one possible murder and one attempted.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, did he kill Sonny? She died of complications of breast cancer.
Yeah. Well, he did not add a single day to her life. Let me put it that way.
No, he did not. So he doesn't want all of that shit to come out.
Yeah, because it's a lot. It's a lot.
And that's why he doesn't want this divorce. And on that note...
Yes. Okay.
I've been Samara.
And I've been Jeannie.
And this has been Talk Deadly to Me.